Hey there, I'm Becky, and welcome to the Literary Escapes podcast. Today on the podcast, we are going to take some literary escapes. I've got several books for you, so buckle up and don't worry about packing your bags. I've got you covered. Welcome back to the Literary Escapes podcast. I'm Becky, and I'm glad you're here today. It's been a few weeks since I put a new podcast out, and so today I wanted to give you a little bit of an update and share some book recommendations with you, of course. So before I jump into the books, let me tell you what's been going on for me lately. I am just about ready to publish book number 1. It is called Finding Dolly. It's set in Nashville, and it is a sweet contemporary romance. And it will be out on May 16th. It's under 2 weeks away, so I'm very excited about that. You can go to Amazon and get a copy pre-ordered right now. And if you listen to this after May 16th, you can go order it. I would love that. Here's a little bit of what the book's about. And a mission to find Dolly, yeah, that Dolly, lead to love. Grace never thought she'd be on a mission to find country music icon Dolly Parton and doesn't have a clue where to begin. However, fate intervenes when she meets Carl, a handsome Nashville native who takes her on a journey through Nashville and Pigeon Forge, looking for Dolly. Along the way, Grace and Carl discover a deep connection, but their newfound love is complicated by their pasts. Despite the obstacles in their way, Grace and Carl's bond grows stronger with each day. Will Carl take a chance on love with Grace, or will her heart be broken again? So, if you like a good romance, a sweet romance, then go head over to Amazon and grab a copy today. I'd love that. Thank you. So, I also have another book that is going to be coming out in June. It is a free book, actually, and everybody who is on my email list will get a copy of the book. And so that one is called Rescuing Hope. It's kind of a prequel to Finding Dolly. And so if you're not on my email list for Becky Lee Author, then I will leave the link in the show notes and you can get on the list. And at the end of June, you'll be able to get a free book from me. A couple of other things before I go into the books today is I've got a couple of events that I'm going to be at with my books. And the first one is June 3rd at the Family Bookshop in DeLand, Florida. So if you happen to be in Central Florida, I'd love to see you at the Family Bookshop in DeLand. It is from 12 to 2, middle of the day, and I will be there and would love to see you. So come join me there. The other one is in Orlando. It's in August, end of August, and it's at the Orlando Reads Conference, Orlando Reads Books Conference. It is a fabulous evening of readers getting to meet a whole bunch of authors, and there's other stuff going on through the weekend as well. But there will be a book signing, and there's going to be a whole bunch of authors there, and it's free for readers to come and meet a whole bunch of authors. So if you would like to join me there, I'll leave a link for that in the show notes as well. So that is what has been going on for me this month, or the last couple of months probably. Now let's move on to our books for today. I am sharing books that I shared with my book club, the Literary Escape Book Club this week, and we are headed to South Africa today in the book club. And so all the books that I'm sharing today are books set in South Africa. And I've got a few different genres for you. So here is what I've got. Book number 1 is called If You Want to Make God Laugh by Bianca Marais. It is a coming-of-age fiction set in Johannesburg. In a squatter's camp on the outskirts of Johannesburg, 17-year-old Zadwa lives in desperate poverty under the shadowy threat of a civil war and a growing AIDS epidemic. 8 months pregnant, Zadwa carefully guards secrets that jeopardize her life. This is the unforgettable story of 3 unique women in post-apartheid South Africa who are brought together in their darkest time and discover ways that love can transcend even the strictest of boundaries. So that is book number 1 I have for you. It's a coming-of-age fiction set in Johannesburg, South Africa. If You Want to Make God Laugh by Bianca Marais. Book number two is a classic. And if you've looked up books for South Africa, this is probably the first one that comes up. It's called Cry the Beloved Country by Alan Paton. And like I said, this is a classic. It's been an Oprah Book Club selection and has been a bestseller since it came out in 1948. So this is a very popular book. It is about a Zulu pastor, Stephen Pumalo, and his son Absalom, and it's set against the background of a land and a people riven by racial injustice. This is looking at a Black man's story in a Black man's country under white man's law. And it is said to be very lyrical and just a beautiful story. If you'd like to read a classic set in South Africa, definitely pick up Cry the Beloved Country by Alan Paton. The next one is women's fiction, and it is called The Woman Next Door by Yewande Omotoso. And here's the blurb on this one. Hortensia James and Marian Agostino are neighbors. One is black and the other is white. Both are successful women with impressive careers. Both have been recently widowed and are living with questions, disappointments, and secrets that have brought them to shame. And each has something that the woman next door deeply desires. Sworn enemies, the two share a hedge and a deliberate hostility, which they maintain with a zeal that belies for their age. But one day, an unexpected event forces Hortensia and Marian together, and the physical barriers between them collapse. Their bickering gradually softens into conversation, and gradually, the two discover common ground. But are these sparks of connection enough to ignite a friendship, or is it too late to expect these women to change? So this one sounds like a really good one. It's called The Woman Next Door by Yewande Omotoso. I hope you'll pick that one up. It sounds really good. Now I'm going to run into or go into the books that I've chosen for the book club. And it was hard choosing this month because all the books sound really good. But this is the companion book that I chose. It is a culinary cozy mystery, which I love a good culinary cozy mystery. And this one has a bunch of recipes in the back. So if you'd like to try some food from the South African world, this is definitely a book you need to grab. It's called Recipes for Love and Murder by Sally Andrew. And here is the blurb on this one. Tani Marie, Tani meaning auntie, the respectful Afrikaans address for a woman older than you, is a middle-aged widow who likes to cook and eat. She shares her culinary love as a recipe columnist for the local paper. That is until the Gazette decides its readers are hungrier for advice on matters of the heart rather than ideas for lunch and dinner. Tani Marie doesn't like the change, but soon discovers she has a knack and a passion for helping people. Of course, she shares her recipes and culinary advice whenever she can, assisting other people with their problems. Tani Marie is eventually forced to face her own issues, especially when the troubles of those she helps touches on the pain of her past, like a woman desperate to escape her abusive husband. When the woman is murdered, Tani Marie becomes dangerously entwined in the investigation, despite the best efforts of one striking detective determined to keep her safe. Suddenly, this practical, down to earth woman is involved in something much more sinister than perfecting her chocolate cake recipe. So, if you like a good cozy mystery and want some delicious sounding South African recipes, definitely pick up Recipes for Love and Murder by Sally Andrew. It is a fun book. And our book of the month in the book club, the Literary Escape Book Club, is a historical World War II historical fiction. And it is called War Serenade by author Jill Wallace. Here's the blurb on this one. Divided by war, united by music, endangered by passion. When bon vivant Italian opera star turned pilot Pietro is shot down during World War II, he nearly loses his life. Worse, he lost his passion for music and is close to losing his sanity in a soul crushing prisoner of war camp in South Africa when he meets Iris. He has a vision of a love worth dying for, worth living for, and realizes he must find his voice if he ever hopes to find her again. Iris's dreams are at stake when she meets Pietro. All she wants is for her brother to come home alive from the war and to fulfill her destiny as a costume designer in Hollywood. But this spirited redhead's life turns upside down as her eyes meet Pietro's through the cage of his prison. The world may be at stake, but so is her heart. Their secretive and daring courtship raises the suspicions of the bully who runs the camp, a scarred and damaged tyrant who once dated Iris. Consummating the couple's almost mystical connection will mean crossing the barbed wire, risking the deadly charge of treason, and confronting their worst fears. This is inspired by a true story. So pick up War Serenade if you enjoy a good historical fiction, especially World War II fiction. This one is beautifully written and well worth picking up. Again, it's called War Serenade by Jill Wallace. So that is my books for you today, and they are all set in South Africa. If you're going to read any of them, let me know. Leave a comment on the blog or in the iTunes. Let me know. But I hope you enjoy them, and I hope that you take a literary escape to South Africa. If you'd like to join us in the book club as we take our escape to South Africa, there'll be a link in the show notes that you can come check us out. Each month we meet and we discuss both the companion book and the book of the month via Zoom, and we meet the author of the month. And so this month we will be meeting Jill Wallace in the book club and talking about her books. She has 2 or 3 out now that are all historical fiction set in South Africa. So looking forward to chatting with her at the end of the month. Thanks for joining me today, and I will talk to you again soon. Have a good one.